विधानसभा चुनाव करते हैं, लगभग पूरा साल में कुछ डेवलपमेंट का काम नहीं होते हैं। तो इसीलिए प्रधानमंत्री जी चाहते हैं वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन हो। हम लोग इसको पूरा समर्थन करता हूं और मेरा मानना है कि ये भी जो अमेंडमेंट है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट है, प्रधानमंत्री जी इसको भी स्वीकृत करवा ही ले।
2027 में होगा आपका? तो अभी
देखिए, हमारे तो चुनाव जैसे 2026 में है। अगर कोविंद जी का जो रिपोर्ट है वो रिपोर्ट अगर स्वीकृति मिल जाते हैं तो 2029 में हमारा चुनाव दोबारा होगा। जैसे सरकार खाली 3 साल के लिए बनेगा, फिर 5-5 साल के लिए बनेगा, लेकिन ये जो अमेंडमेंट है इसको पास करवाना पड़ेगा लोकसभा राज्यसभा में विथ 2/3 मेजोरिटी। तो प्रधानमंत्री जी करेगा जरूर।
सर, तुम्हारा आज आप आए थे जगन्नाथ धाम मूल पीठ में, अभी दीघा में जगन्नाथ जी का मंदिर हो रहा है।
देखिए, जहाँ जगन्नाथ जी विराज करता है वही तो जगन्नाथ का मतलब ये स्थान, और बाकी तो ये तो सड़क है ना, ये तो वैकुंठ।
All right, viewers, it's a big move by the Modi government, the biggest electoral reform. The cabinet has given the nod for the proposal to the One Nation, One Election bill. That's the breaking news update that we are bringing you at the moment. Let's go across to Krutarth, who's joining us from the newsroom. Krutarth, what are the benefits of having this One Nation, One Election law when it is approved?
Kriti, well, the primary contention of the government in favor of One Nation, One Polls has always been the disruption that comes into place because of the model code of conduct and its implementation. The government argues that because India is a big country with over 28 states, there are always some or the other elections going on in different parts of the country that halts the executive's powers to implement policies effectively. And this leads to a lot of public wastage of funds, and this is something that the government wants to put a crackdown on. That is aspect one. The second aspect is, again, the amount of money utilized during election cycles that the government has to use. At the same time, the various elections that continue to bring repeated expenses for the political parties as well as for the executive machinery to conduct elections in a free and fair manner. So these are the two preliminary contentions due to which One Nation, One Poll is something that the government is strongly pushing for. And they have been attempting to build consensus around this for the last 10 years. We also saw President Ramnath Kovind-led committee submitting the report to the cabinet earlier this year, which was also passed, and now a resolution has also been passed in order to bring in the bill into the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Kriti.
All right, Krutarth, but I asked you about the benefits that the bill will give once it is approved into a law, although we know about some of the contentions that have been raised about the opposition. Talk to us about how is this going to benefit the electoral process in the country?
Most likely what the electoral process will benefit, like as I said earlier, is that it will attempt to put a cut down on a lot of repeated utilization of funds done by the Election Commission in order to conduct elections. It will also allow the voters to come out in higher numbers because it will be a simultaneous poll at both the state and the national level.
Request you to hold on, Krutarth. I'm joined in by RP Singh of the BJP. Very good afternoon to you, sir. It's a big move by the Modi government. Now the cabinet has approved the proposal for the One Nation, One Election bill. How soon can we see this as a reality?
Well, the bill has to be approved by the parliament now, both the houses. And we are hopeful by next election, we'll have One Nation, One Election together. And also that it will not only save money, time and everything, but it will save a lot of administrative subjects also, because every now and then when elections happen, the complete elections come to halt, and that halts the progress of the nation also. So this is a great move by the Mr. Modi and government, and we are hoping that they will have implemented by the parliament soon, and we will hope that other parties should also come on board and see the reason behind, and then should positively react on it and support it.
Sir, well, the opposition has raised several contentions saying it is highly unlikely that the bill will actually be turned into a law. It says not many people are going to speak in favor of the bill. Do you think these differences and the opposition that have been raised to the bill will be sought out once the bill is likely sent to the JPC?
Well, let the parliament decide on whether it has to go to JPC or it will be brought to vote in the parliament itself. But it is keeping in mind the vision of the Ambedkar ji and people who decided on the constitution of the country. And till 67 election, they choose one election, one throughout the country. It's only after that the Congress started dissolving the state government on the whims and fancy that permutation commission was shaken. But it was very good that it can come back, and then the complete nation would look forward that there's one election, and then no one should challenge even the intelligence of voter. The best example is the last election before the last election in Odisha. People used to vote differently for assembly in the same booth and differently for the parliament. And so was the case with Andhra. They will vote for Prime Minister Modi in the parliament, and they vote for Biju Patnaik in Odisha in the assembly elections. So no one should challenge that, and also keeping in mind the broader point is that it will give more power to the administration, that they don't come to grinding halt every now and then.
All right, sir, many concerns have also been raised about the bill. How is the centre, particularly the NDA party, is going to address these claims once before the bill is actually approved?
Well, I'm hopeful that all parties will understand the concern about the government, and they will appreciate the bill. And let's see how do they react to the bill. But yes, since it hasn't passed in the cabinet, it means all the NDA alliance are on board. Now we have to get the other parties on board and ensure that the bill is through in the parliament, both the houses of the parliament.
All right, thank you, Mr. R.P. Singh, for joining us and speaking to us with your opinions on the ONO bill. With that, viewers, let's once again show you what Himanta Biswa Sarma had to say on the big move by the government.
देखिए, ये आना चाहिए। जैसे आप उड़ीसा में देखिए, एक साथ चुनाव हुए और आपको बार बार चुनाव में जाना नहीं है, लेकिन हमारा प्रदेश में वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन नहीं है। अभी हमने लोकसभा चुनाव किए, दोबारा अभी विधानसभा चुनाव करना पड़ता है, और जो साल भी आप लोकसभा या विधानसभा चुनाव करते हैं, लगभग पूरा साल में कुछ डेवलपमेंट का काम नहीं होते हैं। तो इसीलिए प्रधानमंत्री जी चाहते हैं वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन हो। हम लोग इसको पूरा समर्थन करता हूं, और मेरा मानना है कि ये
एक चुनी हुई सरकार का दोबारा मिड टर्म इलेक्शन नहीं होगा क्या? अगर मान लीजिए आपने एक बार पूरे देश का एक साथ चुनाव करा दिया, तो आज महाराष्ट्र है, अभी तो वहां सरकार बनी है, झारखंड है, अभी वहां सरकार बनी है, जम्मू कश्मीर हरियाणा है, अभी वहां सरकार बनी है, पंजाब का कार्यकाल बाकी है, उत्तर प्रदेश का कार्यकाल बाकी है। आप कैसे चुनाव करा देंगे पूरे देश का एक साथ? जिन सरकारों के कार्यकाल बाकी हैं उनका चुनाव आप कैसे कराएंगे? और सबसे बड़ा सवाल मेरा यह है कि ये बहानेबाजी है कि आप कह रहे हैं कि एक साथ चुनाव कराने से खर्चे कम आएंगे। क्या वोटर्स की संख्या कम हो जाएगी एक साथ चुनाव कराने से? क्या ईवीएम की संख्या कम हो जाएगी? भाई उतने ही वोटर एक साथ चुनाव कराने में भी भाग लेंगे, उतने ही वोटर।
All right, viewers, while the BJP leaders, including Himanta Biswa Sarma, support the bill, the opposition, of course, says it's highly unlikely that such a bill can be approved to form a law. But let's go across to Kritarth, who continues to be with me from the newsroom. Kritarth, the big question is that does the NDA have the numbers to approve the bill in both the houses of the parliament? Because clearly it's falling short of the majority mark.
And that is one of the preliminary reasons why this bill is likely to go to the Joint Parliamentary Committee in Lok Sabha if it is tabled. And the biggest reason is that because this is a constitutional amendment, it will need 2/3 of the votes in both houses of the parliament in order to carry as a law. Right. And in Lok Sabha, that number is 364, while the NDA only has 292. And in Rajya Sabha, that number is around 164, while the NDA has around 120 seats. So in both the houses, they are sufficiently falling short. In Lok Sabha, at least by 70 seats, and in Rajya Sabha, at least by 40 seats. So where does this remainder of the seat come from? And we already see that a lot of opposition parties have clearly expressed their lack of desire to carry this bill. We have already seen the Tamil Nadu and Kerala state state assemblies already passing resolutions condemning ONOP and saying that they will not implement it. So that already takes out significant chunk of the southern parties in opposition to One Nation, One Poll, which also have a reasonable presence in both houses of the parliament. So as far as the dream of completing ONOP is concerned, until and unless BJP manages to get some support, some significant support from across the aisle, it will not carry in the manner in which they want to. But surely sending it to the Joint Parliamentary Committee is the right step in order to build that consensus.
Now, in fact, let me put that breaking news out as well for our viewers. That the Aam Aadmi Party has already opposed the bill. It is now calling it a political gimmick, a jumla of the NDA government. Now, it is saying that it's not possible to conduct state elections together with the general elections. The question, of course, that is raised is whether the country's infrastructure is developed enough to hold simultaneously general and state polls. Kritarth, if you can hear me, my question to you was, like the Aam Aadmi Party is among the opposition parties, to call it a political gimmick, to call it a jumla, the One Nation, One Election bill. It is saying it's not possible to conduct state elections together. The question that would come to the minds of many would be that whether the country's infrastructure allows for the simultaneous conduct of one nation, the Lok Sabha and the state elections.
Well, that has been one of the contentions that the opposition parties have attempted to create, that whether or not it will be possible to conduct polls all across the country at once. Even in Lok Sabha, when we see that the Lok Sabha polls are contested in various phases, obviously One Nation, One Poll will have its own challenges, and there is also a significant need of investment in more EVM machines, perhaps, to effectively carry out and fill out all the redundancy aspects as far as a free and fair election cycle is concerned. However, the government in its official report, in the report submitted by President Ramnath Kovind-led committee, has detailed as to how and in what manner in which this infrastructure will be built up, and once this capacity is ready, how it will eventually lead into a lot of economic benefit to the government and in turn to the people. One of the biggest reasons why this One Nation, One Poll is also looked at is that it will potentially boost a lot of voter turnout, as people will come out for that one decisive vote that will help them set up their state and national government at the same time.